So lesson 3.1 is on simplifying algebraic expressions. An algebraic expression is a problem that has numbers, variables, which are letters, and then an operation, so add, subtract, multiplying, or dividing sign in it. All right, so algebraic expressions, numbers, variables, and an operation, okay? What we'll be doing in this lesson is identifying terms and like terms, okay? And then we'll also be simplifying the algebraic expression by combining like terms. So a term, numbers and or variables, okay, separated by addition or separation signs, or separated by addition or subtraction signs, okay? Like terms are terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. Okay, I also have some more terms here, all right, so vocab. Coefficient is a number that is in front of the variable. It's just the number, not the variable, okay? And a constant is a number by itself, all right? So on number 1, I have 5a minus 2a plus 9. So I'm just going to identify my terms here and my like terms here, and then I'll simplify it later. So my terms, we go back up here. It's numbers and or variables separated by addition and subtraction signs. So to list the terms, you're basically going to just rewrite the problem, right? But you're not going to write it exactly as you see it. All right, so my first term is 5a, because it's a number and a variable separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So I have 5a, and then after that is a minus sign, so that kind of breaks that off. So I have 5a as a term, and then I'm gonna write a comma, because I'm listing all my terms. Now, I have this negative or minus 2a. Okay, so you have to include the minus sign in front of the number if there is one there. So I have a plus sign here, so that kind of breaks that part off, right? It's separated by an addition sign. So negative 2a is another term, and then my comma, and then the last thing I have this plus 9, so we can just write a positive 9. So if you see, I'm basically kind of rewriting the problem, but it doesn't look exactly alike because I'm not writing the minus and addition signs, right? But like I said, we do have to include the negative in our term if there is a minus or negative sign in front of that constant, okay? So if I listed the terms, it would be 5a, negative 2a, and 9. Those are my terms. Now my like terms are the terms that look alike, right? That look the same. Terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. Well, here I have a 5a and a negative 2a. They both have the same variable and they're both to the same power, right? You don't see the exponent, all right, but we know that there is an exponent of 1 there, all right? So they're raised to the same power, so that would, they would be like terms. So I have 5a and negative 2a, all right? Since this constant or this 9 is all by itself, all right, it doesn't have anything else to match up with, so the only like terms here are 5a and negative 2a. Now, when I simplify this expression, you can only combine like terms, right? Think about it as being if I had 5 apples and 2 bananas, and if I take 5 apples and 2 bananas and I try to combine them to just apples, I can't do that, all right? They have to be the same thing, all right? So what I'm gonna do is, since these look alike, I'm gonna take 5 A's. Think about having 5 A's in your hand, and you took 2 A's away. How many A's would you have? You would have 3 A's. So 3A, and then I don't have anything else to combine this 9 with, so I'm gonna write down plus 9. And now 3A plus 9. Okay, this is actually like my apple and oranges example. So if I had 3 apples and 9 oranges, all right, I would not be able to combine those and say, hey, I have 12 apples, right? Because we can't combine those. So since these are not like terms, they do not have the same variable. This has a on it, this does not. That is in simplest form. So that's how I would simplify that. Moving on, 2 and 3/10 w minus 7 plus 8 and 1/10 minus 3w to the second power, or 3w squared. So listing all my terms, all right, I have 2 and 3/10 w, right? So since I have this subtraction sign, that kind of breaks that off. Now I have to include that negative in that 7. I have a positive 8 and 1/10 and a negative 3w squared. So I listed all my terms. Now if I'm going to list like terms, I have to list the terms that look alike. Well, here I have a 2.3w, or 2 and 3/10 w. Here I have a negative 3w to the second power. Now they have the same variable, right? Like terms with the same variable, but they also have to be raised to the same power. We can kind of pretend that I have a 1 there, right? If we don't see the exponent, it's a 1, okay? So w kind of to the first and w to the second. Since they're not raised to the same power, they are not like terms, okay? You cannot combine those, all right? So these are not like terms. Even though they have the same variable, they have to be raised to the same power as well. Now here I have a negative 7 and a positive 8 1/10, okay? Those look alike. They're both constants, so they don't have a variable on them, all right? So that does mean that they are like terms because they're just regular numbers or decimals, all right? So I have negative 7 and 8 1/10 are like terms, all right? They're just the constants all by themselves. Now, if I were to simplify that, is there anything I can combine 2 and 3/10 w with? Well, I don't have another just plain w, all right? So I can't combine that with anything. So I'm just gonna bring that down in my answer when I'm simplifying. Here I have negative 7 and a positive 8 1/10. Well, there we've learned if I have different signs, we subtract. We take 8.1 minus 7, and we should get 1 and 1/10, right? Which is farther from 0. 8's farther from 0. 8 has that positive, so we have to put the positive in front of the 1 and 1/10. And then I do not have anything to combine the w squared with, so I have to include the sign in front of it, bring that down, and this is simplified already. This is in simplest form. I cannot combine any other terms because I do not have any like terms out of those three. They're all different, so that's in simplest form. Now, your order on these doesn't necessarily matter as long as your 2 and 3/10 w is representing a positive, your 1 and 1/10 is representing a positive, and your 3w squared is represented by a minus or a negative in front of it. All right, last example, number 3. So if I'm listing my terms, I have 6t, negative 9t, 5t, 5, and negative 7x, right? I listed everything that was separated by a plus or a minus sign. Now, my like terms, let's see if I have anything to combine this positive 6t with. I have that's a plus sign. It's not a t. I guess that can look like a plus, or a t. That's a plus sign, so it's not 9t. So I have a 6t and a positive 5t. They both have the same variable raised to the same power, so we can combine those. So if I had 6 t's and I'm adding 5 more t's to that, I now get 11t. I actually skipped the like terms. We're simplifying first right now, so I'm going to go back to just identifying like terms later. I forgot about that. All right, so I took care of my 6t and my 5t. All right, now I have my minus or negative 9. So that's the constant, right? Number just all by itself. Do I have any just numbers all by themselves? Right here, I have this plus 5. So I have a minus in front of the 9 and a plus in front of the 5. So right there, my signs are different on the 9 and the 5, so I need to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4, and then we ask ourselves which number is farther from 0. 9 has that minus sign, so I need to put the minus sign out in front of the 4. And then I just have this minus or negative 7x. I don't have anything to combine it with, so I just need to bring that down in my answer. So that is how I would simplify that. Now, if I was identifying like terms, okay, we need to just put the terms that look alike. So 6t and 5t, and they're both positive. And then I'm going to break it off and write some more like terms down. I have a minus or negative 9 and a plus 5. And that is it for like terms. This negative 7x is all by itself. I don't have anything to combine it with. So my like terms were 6t and 5t. And then they were also negative 9 and positive 5. All right. So that is lesson 3.1. We are identifying terms and like terms, and then we are simplifying the expression by combining like terms. All right. You can only combine like terms. You cannot combine unlike terms. So they have to look alike in order for you to either add or subtract them. Okay, homework. Page 84 and 85. You'll do 1 through 15 odds, and then 30 through 32.